Now, one of the most recent cases happened in Ohio. It's the story of Dennis McGuire. He was put to death on January 16th of this year. His family is now suing, saying that he made loud snorting noises and it took 25 minutes for him to die. A normal execution, as Max mentioned, lasts about 12 minutes and is relatively silent. And like here in Oklahoma, the drug combination was different than usual and untested because supplies of the old formula had dried up.
So how does an execution fail? Tonight we reached out to a medical expert for perspective. Dr. Jonathan Groner joins us now via Skype from Ohio, from The Ohio State University. And the question is, prisons like the one here in Oklahoma are now having to change some of the drugs that they use in executions. Obviously, you weren't there. You weren't part of this event. But in your opinion, was the failure due to the drugs that they're using, or is this more of how it's being administered?
Well, I think it's actually both. There was definitely a problem with the IV from everything that I've read about the execution, but there's also a problem with the drugs, that the combination that they use doesn't really have an anesthetic in it. It has a sedative and then a paralyzing agent and then potassium chloride to stop the heart. So the thing that we would use in the operating room for general anesthesia, such as a high-dose narcotic or general anesthetic, is actually missing.
Obviously there's the issue there in Ohio that we mentioned. From your perspective, can these issues be solved for states like Ohio and Oklahoma? And if so, how?
Well, the answer is no. I mean, the problem is there's a conflict that can't be resolved, and that the people who are most expert at using these drugs and putting these IVs in are ethically forbidden from participating in execution. So that's a sort of a paradox that can't be resolved. So unless you're going to bring anesthesiologists into the death chamber to do that, but they are not willing to do that for obvious moral and ethical reasons.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Dr. Jonathan Groner, thanks for your perspective tonight. And our coverage of tonight's failed execution continues online. We've populated KJRH.com with several news stories, plus a full background on both Lockett and Warner, as well as the victims' families.
You keep a good person.